Hello, folks. Well, we are back on the rear lift for the John Deere riding lawnmower. And if you have watched some of the other videos, then you know what I'm talking about. And so for those of you that don't, I've got a rear lift that I've been building that goes back here. And basically you can put implements on it and raise them and lower them. And we've got to get this thing mounted on here. So for those of you that don't know this, there are slots made on the mower back here, just like there is on the front, that we've utilized for the front end loader. And some of you may have to go back and check out some of those videos, so that you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, um, so they'll mount right through there. And in order to do that, we've got some bolts that go through here that bolt on other items, like this lever here goes right through there. And you see, I think there's a couple of things over there. And anyway, so in order to get these to go all the way up as far as they need to, I've got to pull these bolts and then drill this out, drill the steel out that's going to go through there, so that I can re-bolt these items in there. And then we'll probably fix it up where we just leave these in there, and you'll be able to remove the rear lift, but these things will stay in there unless you want to go through all the trouble of unbolting all this. So that's what we're doing, and it's a bit complicated, and it's going to take more than one video to get this done, but we'll get it done. You can believe it. All right, so here is one of the things that's got to be removed. There we go. Now we've got to get this bolt out of there. So that bracket will be able to go through there. I want it to go in. Well, I'd like them to go in as far as possible, but I mean, probably about that much. So we've got another bolt. You see right there. Something will have to be done about that. I don't know yet if that goes all the way through, or if there's a nut welded on the frame. Now, if there's a nut welded on the other side of that frame, then this will be as far as we'll be able to go, which would probably be fine. But this much of the bracket being in there is not enough, that's for sure. I think it would just bend this if it ever got loose. They've only got a spot for one bolt, and I definitely want more than one bolt through the bracket anyway, so I think me putting a bolt through there and then utilizing that as a bolt for the bracket as well is good. That's two good heavy bolts. So you get what I need to pull this bolt. I find it hard to believe that this nut back there is a metric. Okay, 15 millimeter. And as y'all know, sometimes you can use a 9/16 in place of it, but the 9/16 did start up on there, but it didn't go all the way up on there, so I went ahead and grabbed the 15 millimeter. And y'all know I've got air tools and all that stuff, but sometimes I just don't hear all the noise. Now, I'm not in a rush, so I don't really need an impact to do all this stuff. Sometimes it's just easier to use regular old hand tools for me. There we go. Yep. Well, dropped the nut. I think it went under the mower. All right, now that we got that drilled out, we're able to run our steel all the way up to that next bolt where I took it out. And it's got a rolled lip just like this one did. And I'm not worried about this hole. I mean, I can use it. And it wasn't being used to bolt anything down, so it was really obsolete. So now, you know, the thing would be, do I want to drill this one out and have to put a bolt with a nut, or am I going to call it good where it is? Now, I've marked that, and you can see we've got about almost 5.5. We call it 5 3/8 of steel up in there, and I think it's enough. Okay, I think that's enough. I don't see why that would not work. You know, thing is, we're not going to go around trying to put so much weight on this lawnmower to tear it up. I mean, that's not our objective, is to damage the mower by trying to lift up way more weight than this thing should hold. But the interesting thing about this is, you know, if a person wanted to, and they were willing to strengthen up the axle and the front end, which we are going to do some work on the front end later on, a person could take a piece of steel like we got and actually just keep going all the way to the other end of the frame. Okay, so you know, you'd obviously buy a piece of steel that fits this a little better than what I bought, and you know, you may have to modify it a little bit, but you could just take that piece of steel, see, and just keep on going through here, all the way, like I said, all the way up to the front end. And I had thought about doing that, but there again, I'm not looking to try to pick up no 1,000 pounds or something with the back of this mower and damage this rear end or something. And I may come back and do something to strengthen this up a little more here on the rear end, but I need to do the front end first. Because I'm having trouble with the front end. All the bushings are wore out. I want to put real bearings up there and fix the toe end on it. So, but anyway, it is definitely something to think about. I think we're good in here. We're going to do the other side. All right, folks, we are over here on the other side, and let's see what we got. Okay, same thing with this hole like the other one. It's got a lip that sticks out, so I'm going to drill it out as well. And as you can see, this hole is obsolete. It's not being used. So we'll drill that out, and we'll be able to get the same, actually a little more of the steel to go up in there on this side than we did on the other one. So we're all good. We just got to drill that out. So for those of you that don't know, you might have seen me using this thing. I use it for marking steel, and some of you might think this is actually like a pen or a pencil or something. It's actually not. And I know a lot of you know this, but there's folks out there that don't know. We generally call this a scribe. Okay, so it's actually got like I don't know if it's carbide or a diamond or what, right here in the very tip. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's pretty sharp. It doesn't go dull. or it doesn't get dull. Anyway, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. But anyway, so that's what you want to use when you're working with steel. You'll see me use soapstone and other stuff too, but if you want it to be very accurate and you don't want your mark to wear off, you use one of these, and I'll demonstrate it. So, anyway, now you've got a permanent mark, and you can grind or cut right up to that mark if you want to get something very accurate where, if you use a piece of soapstone, that's, not nearly as accurate. So, and this doesn't have to be that accurate, really. It really don't. I didn't even cut these perfectly, but they're going to go on the inside of the frame, and these ends will be out. I may even have to cut these back off again if they're too long. So, I'm just not really that worried about it. But it gives you the ability to do it. And another thing, now remember, this steel is not wide enough. We've got to add a strip onto it to make it where it fits in that groove over there good. So I've already gotten the measurement. So basically we need another strip of this steel that is as big as what you see right there, which is, it's about 3/4 of an inch. And what you can do with one of these is use these as a scribe. So I know what my measurement is. I've already got it locked onto there. And so now what I can do is I can come right here. Get that where it lays down good. Okay. And I can go right through here. Okay, so now I've got a mark on there. So, apparently these are made out of some pretty hard steel. And I need 2 of those. So, we're going to go ahead and scribe out a couple of them. And there we go. So now all I have to do is make a cut here and another one there, and then that gives us our 2 pieces. We'll just lay them out here on something flat, tack weld them together real good. I won't fully weld them, but I'll just put some nice good welds on both sides. We will have to bevel that because we don't want the weld sticking up beyond the metal because it won't fit up in that groove good on the frame. So, we'll bevel it, we'll weld it, and then we'll grind that down flush, and then, and theoretically now, if you wanted to weld it completely up, you could make it where it looked like it was never, 2 pieces of steel, but, there's no need doing all that welding. You just put a couple of really good welds on there, and it'll be fine. All right. So we got those welded up, and I believe they're good enough. Now, if we want to, we can come back later, do a little bit more welding and sanding and grinding on them, and pretty them up. But we don't know if we're gonna have to cut these off or not, if they're sticking out too far. So, and we may have to drill some holes. We may have to weld something on them. So I'm not gonna completely finish them right now. So we go ahead and start seeing if they're gonna fit in there, and see what we got to do to mark our holes, get them drilled out, and so we'll get on that. All right, folks, we got these built. So they work pretty good fit. So what we got to do now is we got to locate where these holes need to be drilled, and I'll get those marked. We'll get these drilled out, and then we'll be able to bolt those on there, and we'll be able to put everything else back on the mower. Talking to me? Alrighty then, folks, we are done for the day. We got these on there, we got them bolted on, and we'll be back on the next video. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next time. Bye.